The Deputy Chief Executive in charge of Operations and Engineering Services at the Volta River Authority, Engineer Edward Obin-Kenzo, has challenged the authority and its stakeholders to be ready to address key questions arising from its management of the flood disaster that followed the spillage of the Akosombo Dam last year. According to him, acknowledging the shortcomings and success is the only means to enhancing the authority's emergency preparedness and responsiveness for improved management of future disasters. Engineer Kenzo was speaking at the opening session of a 3-day technical forum organized by the National Disaster Management Organization to review actions and inactions taken before, during and after the disaster. My colleague Carlos Coloni was at the forum in Battor in the Volta region and filed this report.
The 3-day after-action review of response to flooding due to the spillage of excess water from the Akosombo Dam, organized by the National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO, in collaboration with the Volta River Authority, the VRA, brought together key stakeholders from affected districts. Explaining the importance of the technical review session, the Deputy NADMO Coordinator, Seji Saji, said the review would help develop a comprehensive blueprint on what happened for improved management of disasters in the future.
We need to sit down as a group, to sit down and evaluate and assess what actually happened. How did we manage it? What are the things we did right? What are the things that we couldn't do well? How do we fix it? So that we document this, so that in the unlikely event that any situation befalls us again, we have a guide to follow. We actually started with the VRA presenting to us what actually happened from their end, because that is where this whole thing started from. So you heard the issues of the forecast in anticipation of what volumes of water that was going to come into the reservoir in 2023. Then when the forecast changed along the line, and the forecast changing, it is not VRA that generates the forecast. Ghana Meteorological Service, they have other, the hydrology people, and they have other international agencies also that give them the forecast.
The Deputy Chief Executive in charge of Operations and Engineering Services at the VRA, Engineer Edward Obin-Kenzo, has, however, challenged the authority and its stakeholders to be ready to honestly acknowledge both its successes and shortcomings in how the disaster was managed.
We must be willing to acknowledge both our successes and our shortcomings, as this is the only way we can truly learn and grow from the experience. One key aspect of this after-action review is to examine the effectiveness of our emergency response protocols and procedures. Were there any challenges or bottlenecks that hindered our abilities to mobilize resources and coordinate the response effort? That'll be one question that we should ask ourselves. What worked well, and what areas require improvement? These are questions that we must address with honesty and a commitment to change.
Some participants believe the after review is important to help reshape public perception about what really led to the disaster.
We all had misconceptions with conspiracy theories flying left, right, center, Today the issues are clearer. What it means is that the disaster was almost unavoidable. Could it have been managed better? Yes. In terms of logistics, how the people were to be evacuated to the safe havens and all that, that could have been handled better. But the disaster per se was not that avoidable like we are all learning today. It wasn't deliberate. From what we are learning today, from all the presentations we've seen so far, it was not deliberate. I don't think they meant to do us harm.
Stakeholders believe the final report will be reached and be factored into the final white paper expected to be made public by the Interministerial Committee. Reporting from Battor in the Volta region, my name is Carlos Caloni.